Well, good morning, friends. Before I get into the first shots of my new revolver, my 1860 Army Sheriff's model by Pietta, I just kind of want to put some observations into this video as it relates to perhaps better quality in the Pietta product than, say, maybe Uberti. And a lot of us have made these similar types of comments. If you haven't already seen the review I did on my 1860 Army Old Silver by Pietta, you're more than welcome to scroll back and you can see what I did with this and a particular issue that I had to overcome. And what that issue was is that when you lowered the hammer on the percussion cap, it locked up. And I did a fairly in-depth video on how I overcame that, where metal has to be removed, and it could be the cam on the hammer or it could be tall cones. You can look at that video and you can decide for yourself if you have this issue which way you want to go. But I do want to note something right here. With this Old Silver in Pietta, full cock, you can see there's little to no travel on that hammer. That was one of the things that caught my attention when I was looking at others reviewing this particular revolver. Now, with that in mind, I decided to check this revolver to see if there's more or less travel to hammer at full cock. Now, I do have some percussion caps on here. The revolver's not loaded because I want to lower the hammer on a percussion cap and see if it locks up also before I actually start shooting the thing. So let's take a look at it. But before I do that, just let everybody see I did cut some cross hatches in the top of the hammer like I did on the Old Silver so that I can better grip the hammer. I see a lot of people complain about it. You know, the way the hammer is got these little grooves in it and you really can't grip it, but overcome that. I took my little Dremel tool and I just cut some deeper cross hatches in it. Once again, you can hopefully see that for yourself. I did that on my 61 Pocket Police from Uberti. I actually cut those deeper so that I can get a better grip on that hammer. So let's go to full cock and look at the travel of the hammer, if there's any. Little to none. So at least Uberti, not Uberti, but Pietta is doing this better than Uberti. Okay, so I'm going to lower it down on the cap. Ooh, it locked up, but when I lower the hammer again, it comes back. So that's 2 cylinders. That's 3 cylinders. So there's, yeah. Looks like I'm gonna have to get into those internals and maybe take a closer look at that cam, because that dog leg is not dropping off of the cam so that you can recycle it. It's still allowing the bolt to be engaged with the cylinder notches or the cylinder stops. Now, with that being said, I'm already seeing in these little guides right here where the bolt is coming up, in my opinion, a little too quick, because it's actually pinning just at the beginning of that relieve, that little channel that the bolt rides in before it gets into the stop. So I can see that already. So when I get this revolver opened up and take care of this issue, I'll be able to adjust that timing just ever so slightly to allow that cam to come up in the little guide channel. Okay, so those are the things that I wanted to show before I actually get out and do some shooting with this. And I'm going to get my range set up and let a couple more hours go by, and we'll do some shooting and we'll see how this gun shoots. Well, as I suspected, shot high. I was aiming at the bottom bullseye, and what do you expect with these new Piettas or even the Ubertis with the smaller front sights? You can expect them to shoot high. I was using 25 grains of my homemade gunpowder made with the juniper, pre-lubricated felt wad between the powder charge and the round ball, and the number 10 percussion cap. I'm going to mark those off and do a little bit more shooting. So before I shoot the next 6 rounds, you might be curious as to what I did with the Revolver yesterday. I had planned on shooting this yesterday morning, but like John Lennon says, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. So I got the distraction out of the way, and then I took the rest of the day to make myself a holster to fit the gun. And I also took some time to work on the internals. I don't think the camera's going to pick it up all that well, but the bolt was hitting originally right here, just in front of those little guides that goes into the bolt stopping point, to where the bolt now hits just at that point, to where it just falls into the stop. And I did resolve the issue with lowering the hammer on a cap, and it was locking up as I showed previously, but just to it is loaded, I'm pointing in a safe direction. I'm resting on a cap, comes back. Resting on a cap, comes back. And I was able to do that with just adjusting the timing, working on that cam that's on the hammer. So let me go ahead and get these 6 shots downrange. I upped my powder charge by 5 grains, so I'm shooting 30 grains now of my homemade gunpowder with a 4.54 home cast round ball. And I went in the house and got my glasses, because that first round, even though the V-notch is wider in this particular revolver, it was still a little blurry for me. So let's get this camera adjusted so you can see the gun go off, and then I'll show you where the 6 shots impacted, and hopefully it won't be as embarrassing as it was the first 6 shots. Let me get my earplugs in. Tell you right now, she's still shooting off to the right. I'm actually aiming almost to the far edge of the pie plate. That last shot blotted a lot closer to center. Alrighty, let me get the camera adjusted and you can all see it. So I can tell you for sure, this was my last shot. You can see I placed one here, but the rest of them still went far right. And I was actually aiming the bottom pie plate. I know you can't see it, but I was aiming on the bottom pie plate right here. So as far as I'm concerned, right now this is pretty obtrusively shooting to the right. Alright, I'm going to load up again and do some more shooting. Don't know how well you guys can make this out, but like that birdie, this front sight is also in kind of crooked, kind of cantered off to the right a little bit. So that's definitely going to have to get changed, and I've made up my mind. I'm going to go ahead and crown it, and I'm also going to chamfer the openings of the cylinder just to make it a little easier loading with this short lever. Alright, let me get capped up and we'll send these 6 downrange. Once again, my point of aim, the bottom pie plate, right about here, across from the bullseye, and this is where they impacted. Not sure when that one hit, what round it was, but either way, experience is telling me I need to do a little bit of adjustment on this gun. Let me get pulled back to the bench and we'll wrap everything up. Okay, let me get you into some good light here. This is 3 cylinders with my homemade juniper. And really, in my opinion, it's not all that dirty after 3 cylinders. But you be the judge. So my wife goes, I'm watching you make all these trips back and forth to do this recording and shooting. She says, why don't you just take your card and make it all in one trip? Dumbass. I should have thought about that myself. So, I've been able to determine... Wait a second. Let me take my new safety glasses off so I can see you better. Looking at these targets at this point and much closer, I can see that some of these holes are an impact by the felt wad. And pushing these together, especially this one here in the bullseye, you can definitely see, I don't know if you can, but I can, that's the imprint of the felt wad. There's another imprint right here that I'm pretty convinced is a felt wad. And there's a couple over here. Well, this one for sure, it didn't penetrate the target, but you can clearly see the round circle of what is the felt wad. So some of these impacts just simply may also be the felt wad along with the bullet. But this is only my 3rd cylinder, knowing that I had to aim way over here, you know, on the bottom target. I know she definitely shoots high and she shoots off to the right. So I'm going to definitely knock that front sight off, put a taller front sight on, get it a little bit more aligned square with the barrel, And as I mentioned earlier, I am going to chamfer the openings of the cylinder just to make it a little bit easier to load these 454 round balls with this short lever. And yes, I know I've already made a lever that I can use, a handle that I can use for leverage, but if I'm going to be in the field with this gun, I kind of want to get a feel for how these short levers really do feel in loading these revolvers in the field. And again, when you're in the field, most people like myself like to go light. So carrying an extra piece of wood for leverage may not be practical for me. Others it probably is. And or there again, that's the benefit of having a spare cylinder. So anyhow, friends, thanks for watching. And I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up and share this with your bestest of buds. Everybody have a great day, and I'll catch you again real soon. Bye.